Now, clearly, I'm not very knowledgeable of the Street Fighter series.
Don't worry, bro. I am. Okay, so I just finished watching Pkbeats' newest video on the Street Fighter series, and specifically Ken and Ryu and their special moves and a couple of different things. I'm just gonna get straight to it. I'm finding a really good opportunity to explain to you guys where exactly all these things come from and how they're purposely put into the game. So, let's walk through it real quick.
Happens when you're close to them. And the large, slightly weaker one happens when you're, well, not close to them. Also, each of these stronger, more cinematic...
Okay, so a thing about that is, as I was going to say in the video that I'm currently editing now, Ryu is actually the first character in Smash Bros. To have more than one final smash. And that is because he has more than one special move in the Street Fighter series. His Hadouken is taken from Street Fighter 4, and his Shinshouken is taken from like most of his games. He does that in almost all of them. But there's a couple that are missing here that like, they span throughout all the series that Ryu is in, and Ken.
Final smashes have a very slightly different animation when they actually KO the opponent. So, two very clear-cut final smashes, right? Well, what if I told you that Ryu has a hidden third final smash variant?
Okay, so scope this out. This isn't, so it's not a separate final smash because it's not a separate special move in any of the other games. It's the same exact one, but when your opponent is at a kind of slightly farther distance, it will hit this way. I think it's super cool that they actually put that kind of detail in there, but it's not a separate one. It's the exact same one. It just changes depending on if he's close to you or far away. And the input is the same too.
One not mentioned anywhere in the tips or anywhere else. There are many ways to get it to happen, but the most consistent way I found was to up-throw Bowser at 0%, wait a tiny bit, use...
And then, so see here, Bowser's really above him, and then that's when he gets to do it. So that's exactly what happens in the other game.
Shoryuken, and just a tad bit after the move connected, cancel it into your final smash. And what happens is this really weird and anticlimactic multi-hit version of Shin Shoryuken. Here's what it looks like at full speed. Now, yeah, I get it. It's not exactly some completely unique animation, but it's definitely neither of the normal final smashes. It's almost like some sort of combination of Shin Shoryuken's general style and Shinku Hadouken's multi-hit aspect.
Okay, yeah, so like I mentioned, it's neither of that. It's the first one, it's just a second variant of it when the opponent isn't exactly on there.
I also later found that you can get this to happen by substituting the Shoryuken with just an up smash, and then canceling it into the final smash immediately. This variant of the setup is a bit easier, so use whichever one you want. Subtracting the damage from the setup moves, the final smash alone does about 19% of damage. And as for kill power, we can't exactly test that with this specific setup.
Okay, same thing here as in the other games. The amount of damage that it does in the other games is so much lower compared to if you get the true Shoryuken, or the true Shin Shoryuken. It's like a whiff punish, right? Like, you mess it up so you get so little damage compared to when you actually get it in these games. It's the exact same way here too.
But there are a few other setups to get this to happen at higher percent. I found them to be less consistent, or rather just a lot more precise. But after I finally got it to happen, yeah, I barely sent Bowser anywhere, even at 150%.
And as you've seen, obviously, it does like almost no damage if you hit, like, I guess you could say the sour spot of it.
Practically got no kill power. And its range leaves a lot to be desired. Though it is still able to hit other opponents, but they'd have to be practically jumping into it at that point. So unfortunately, this super secret third variant of his final smash isn't exactly useful. In fact, it could probably get you punished pretty hard.
Yeah, and that's kind of true for Marvel vs. Capcom. If you kind of mess that up, you're free to get hit afterwards. And he's going to talk about free fall here, but it basically leaves you in free fall. I mean, the Shin Shoryuken does it anyways, right? But it'll leave you in free fall in those games too, which means like you can't act out of them. Just like a Shoryuken, you can't act out of it.
If you try this same setup with Ken, you can get something interesting to happen. The start of Shippujin Raikyaku plays out, but stops before the Hurricane Kick portion of the attack.
That's also interesting too. So in this Marvel vs. Capcom clip. Ken isn't in the game, I know, but you can actually make Ryu turn into Ken by doing one of the special inputs. And so in that game, if you block it, he'll do the entire sequence up to that final knee.
But it stops before the hurricane.
There. That last knee is true to the series beforehand and to all the other series before this. It's true in Alpha too. He mentions that later. It's the same thing in Alpha. It's the same thing in Marvel vs. Capcom. They literally just kind of copy paste it whenever they put them into different games.
Kick portion of the attack. I don't really consider this in the same camp as Ryu's Final Smash variant though, as it's more like just a miss. And if there's a second opponent behind the one Ken misses, they'll get hit with the rest, and the rest of the Final Smash will...
And this too, I don't know if I'm able to pull this up in my other footage, but this too is true in Marvel vs. Capcom and in the other Street Fighter games. If you have two players out at once, it's very difficult to do, so I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do, because you need two people to kind of pull stuff like that. But that exact same setup happens too in these other games where they come from.
Play out as normal. So unfortunately, Ken doesn't seem to get his own hidden Final Smash, but I thought this little tidbit...
Again, not hidden, it's the same Final Smash, same special move, just like the sour spot of it.
If information was worth pointing out. Now obviously, I don't think this is intended by any means. I'm not sure what specifically would cause it, but my guess is that it happens when the opponent is close enough to...
Yeah, I don't blame Pkbeats for not knowing. I'm pretty sure a lot of the Smash community doesn't know about Street Fighter this way. All these inputs and all these things kind of like, if you're gonna go to Smash to Street Fighter, it's like a huge jump in like mastering your ability. It's not the same, right? Because that's why I don't main Ryu and Ken, because they're so different in Smash Bros. But I don't blame anybody for not knowing. This is just like I said, I used to compete at Marvel vs. Capcom, so all of this is like really common knowledge to me. And I discovered this when I first jumped onto Smash Bros. You know, I thought it would transfer over here. A lot of the things did, not everything, but a lot of the things did.
To you to activate Shin Shoryuken, but during these activation frames, they move just out of reach, and so the game just sort of gets confused. Some may argue otherwise, but I think this is definitely a hidden, albeit kinda useless, version of his Final Smash, intended or not. Still on Final Smashes, Xerax Kai gives me an interesting fact regarding Ken's Shin Ryuken Final Smash. I've gone over on the channel before how Bayonetta's Final Smash will deal more damage if you mash during this, chomping phase, I guess. Yeah, let's call it that. Well, as it turns out, the same is true for Ken's Shin Ryuken. Normally it does about 34% and KOs off the top at around 65%. But if you mash during it, it does up to 45%, and KOs as early as 40%, way earlier than before.
Okay, so I wanted to touch on this too, and Ken has the same special in like a couple of his other games that he's in. The same thing happens if you do that. By the way, that's his worst special in the game, not only in Smash Bros, but in that game too. But anyways, if you don't mash while you're doing that special, you'll do a lot less damage and you'll do a lot less hits in your combo, basically. So again, don't expect them to know about these things, but these are things like, for really like an old fan of Street Fighter, this I kind of like, you know, I think we knew this. I don't know.
Now, I feel like this fact is even more obscure than the Bayonetta one, as it's not mentioned anywhere in the Smash Wiki, nor in the in-game tips. Hell, they don't even give Ken a unique image for Shin Ryuken. That moves down bad, something fierce. So yeah, by watching this channel, you now know something about Ken's moveset that most people seemingly don't. Pretty crazy, huh?
Yeah, that's actually really good that he did that, because a lot of people don't know these things. I'm just glad that I can clarify where they come from and why it's not so ununique. Maybe Sakurai had thought that the players, you know, whoever wants to main Ken and Ryu, because they're like, oh, they're Street Fighter characters, I love Street Fighter, now they're in Smash, they would naturally come to find these things out. And I guess for me it was, I didn't really pay too much attention to it because I stopped using Ken. But I'm really glad he's pointing these out, and I'm kind of happy I can just give some like background to that stuff.
You should subscribe or something, you know, that'd be pretty cool. In fact, by being able to KO a whole 25% earlier, the move actually has some viability. I'd argue it's still the worst of any of the Shoto Final Smash variants, outside of the aforementioned hidden third variant Ryu has.
That's really funny. I think Ken should have had his own Shin Shoryuken in this game the same way that he has in the other ones, because it is a lot better than that one that he has right now.
As Ryu's Shin Hadouken is a horizontal based move, and I just feel like you're more likely to be closer to the side blast zone when activating it than you are closer to the top blast zone when activating Shin Ryuken. And Shin Hadouken can KO at even 0% if done just near the ledge, but that's neither here nor there. And no, mashing will not make Ryu's Shin Hadouken any stronger. For whatever reason, this quirk seems to be reserved for Ken's Shin Ryuken. Actually, post-production Pkbeats here. I was doing a bit of research to make sure this smashing fact wasn't basic public knowledge, as if it was known by a ton of people, my little rant before would make me look like an idiot. And on the Smashpedia, I found that in the Street Fighter Alpha series and whatever, with the origin of Shin Ryuken, you can mash to make it deal more hits. So this feature in Smash would just be obviously a direct reference to that. Now clearly I'm not very knowledgeable of the Street Fighter series.
Don't worry, bro. I am.
But I also found it interesting in how intended this seems to be, despite the fact that nowhere in any official Smash information outlet is this fact mentioned. So I guess it was just a nice little Easter egg that had yet to be unearthed. So that's pretty cool.
And I'm glad he unearthed it because I think he has like the biggest channel for this type of stuff out there. Whereas in like if I had posted it up there, nobody would really see it.
Let's keep at it with some more Shoto Final Smash facts, like this one from Ginny Dean regarding Shin Shoryuken. That being, if you use Shin Shoryuken near the ledge or offstage, you will actually be forced into freefall, completely unable to recover. I tried it out with the weird hidden third variant of the Final Smash, and yeah, this is also true for this one. This is particularly weird because, to my knowledge, no other Final Smash will force their user into freefall afterwards. And that kinda makes sense, since it's a bit punishing to the character right after their big, fancy attack to just helplessly plummet like that. I would maybe guess that's because the game just uses the same code as Ryu's normal Shoryu.
I don't have an explanation for this. I will say, however, that he's always in special fall in these other games, technically, because he can't act out of Shoryuken or Shin Shoryuken.
Which, also puts Ryu into freefall, but for good reason. Maybe they just ripped the code from this move.
So his up B is actually his forward down forward punch move. And I guess because they're Street Fighter characters, they're gonna act a little bit differently. But I think it's a weird inclusion too.
And didn't think to change the freefall aspect because of how situational it is to get this variant of his Final Smash off stage. I don't know, it's weird because if that's how they went about it, they clearly thought about it for Ken's Shin Ryuken, as this doesn't put him into freefall, so who could say for sure. Speaking of the game's code, did you know that Ken's feet attack are considered to be punch and fist?
I actually was going to talk about these things in that Ryu and Ken series, but I didn't know how to explain it. He found a really good way, so it's a good thing I took it out.
In the sound test section, you can find the voice lines for most characters. And if it exists, they'll also have a voice line for their star KO.
Alright, so I actually have another hidden fact about Ken's voice lines, and I'm just gonna save that for the video that I'm working on now. I might put it up tomorrow if I get to finish it on time. But he has a couple different voice clips that are unique to Ken and to nobody else in the cast, which I think was really interesting. So if you guys want to check that, make sure you subscribe to this one, and it'll most likely be the next one out because I'm almost done with it. I have like halfway to go to edit it. Might take me another day or so. So basically, that's it. He went over some really important things that I think are phenomenal for the game, right? Because a lot of people don't know about these things. Again, like I said earlier, I don't blame him for not knowing. It's just he probably hasn't. He said himself that he's not experienced with the Street Fighter series. I 100% am. When I saw him posting this, I immediately said, dude, I know what this means. I know what this is about. I'm going to explain it for everybody because this is so interesting to me. I used to compete in this, so it was like, to me, it was just like a no-brainer. Dude, give the people knowledge, right? I don't know, it's interesting to me. If I could say something about what I would like to see as far as Final Smashes for Ryu and Ken, I would like Ken's Shin Shoryuken. However, I can see why they didn't do that, because if you were to do that on a Smash Bros. Stage, you might actually fall off. And for Ryu, I would love the ability for Ryu to transform into Akuma, maybe not with a Final Smash. And then if he had Akuma, I would love to see Raging Demon implemented into the game. And that's kind of the move the move set that I would want to be implemented into the game. But that's my thoughts. If you guys are interested in the Street Fighter series, I am putting up that Smash Bros. Video, like I said, in a couple days. It goes by really fast. My pace is a lot faster than Pkbeats, and I think that's just because my energy level in general is like really high. I love his tone. I love how he keeps things chill. I can't do that. I'm too wired all the time. I drink a lot of coffee. So that's my reason. I don't know. And yeah, man, keep smashing on. Thank you guys for watching. See ya.